Hello, everybody.
Good morning, Detective.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. It looks like you just have one swear to Mr. Franklin. Is that right?
Yep.
All right, perfect. Now calling prosecutor order number 24-23212, the people versus Devontae Dimitri Franklin. This is the date and time set for a swear to. Detective, can I have you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. You're under oath. Please state your full name for the record, and you may proceed when you're ready.
Detective Michael Romelis, Oakland County Sheriff's Office. On October the 8th, 2024, around 8:20 a.m., deputies from the Pontiac substation were dispatched to 129 North Sanford Street in the city of Pontiac for a reported shooting. The caller was reporting that someone was shot in the head. Multiple deputies and investigators from the sheriff's office responded to this incident and located a victim, Sydney Ward, in the living room, wrapped in a blanket with a gunshot wound to the head, obviously deceased. Upstairs, deputies located another victim, Tyrone Glenn, in a bed with multiple gunshot wounds, including one to the head. Star EMS advised the male upstairs had a pulse, and he was transported to McLaren Oakland Hospital, where he later succumbed. Detectives from the sheriff's office interviewed Marquita Hunter, the caller for this incident. She advised us this was her apartment, and she had left the home this morning to walk her children to the bus stop, and as she returned, she overheard gunfire, entered her apartment, and observed Devontae Franklin coming down the stairwell. Marquita stated her smoke detector was going off and she could smell something burning. She then discovered that Tyrone had been shot. She stated she then had a brief exchange with Franklin. He then chased her briefly out the door, and ultimately he led on foot. Deputies learned that Tyrone Glenn was Marquita's boyfriend and Sid Ward was her brother. Detectives from the sheriff's office continued this investigation. The forensic lab responded to the scene. I observed pieces of potato around both of the victims, leading me to believe a potato had been used to try and silence the gunshots. I observed Sid Ward appeared to have been shot one time while he was wrapped in a blanket sleeping on the floor. A black and silver Smith & Wesson .40 caliber pistol was found in the trash can with a slide lock to the rear. .40 caliber casings were found on the scene. A potato was found in the trash, appearing to have gunshot residue on it. Tyrone Glenn was shot in his bedroom multiple times. Devontae Franklin was a known person to Marquita, and identification was made. Through multiple witness accounts, it was learned hostility had arose earlier in the night during a game of dice, and multiple threats were made. This occurred several hours before the shooting. Around 8 p.m., detectives from the sheriff's office located Devontae around 8 Mile Evergreen, where he was then taken into custody. A post-Miranda interview was conducted with Devontae by myself. Devontae admitted to fashioning a potato to a Smith & Wesson pistol and proceeding to shoot Sydney in the head, and walked past the door to have left the apartment and instead headed up a flight of stairs, entered a closed bedroom door, and shot Tyrone Glenn multiple times. Devontae Franklin was lodged at the Oakland County Jail. Devontae is a convicted felon. The prosecutor's office reviewed this incident and issued 2 counts of murder in the first degree, 3 counts of felony firearm, 1 count of felon in possession.
All right, thank you, Detective. The court finds a probable cause has been established related to the submitted charges. I am signing the complaint and authorizing the warrant. Obviously, court just heard a lot there. Is there anything else you want to know regarding bond?
Yes, sir. I just wanted for the record, I was not able to cue the report over. It's too large for the Oak video file to handle. I can speak on his criminal history if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay. In his previous history, he has been convicted of child abuse in the 2nd degree, flee and elude 3rd degree, child abuse in the 4th degree, malicious destruction of property, and embezzlement. Just for some context, after this incident, Devontae had fled from the scene. He was hiding in yards. He eventually got into an Uber, and a deputy from the sheriff's office had called the Uber while he was in it, and Devontae proceeded to jump out of the Uber. A large manhunt was underway for approximately 10 hours, and he was eventually then taken into custody, standing outside of a bus stop. I'm requesting his bond to be denied due to the extreme nature of this incident, as well as the severity of the charges and the obvious immediate threat to the public after killing 2 people, including one who appeared to have been just sleeping.
All right. Thank you, Detective. We'll do the arraignment here shortly. Obviously, you're more than welcome to join us. Otherwise, we're all set.
Yes, sir. Do you have a time roughly for me to log in? I would like to appear for the arraignment.
So I don't have a specific time, but what I can do is I'll have one of my clerks call you as
Okay,
soon as we start the arraignments, and then just log in, stay in the waiting room, and I'll bring you in.
sounds good. And what's your name again, sir? I'm sorry.
Ellwanger, ELLWANGER.
Thank you, sir. I'll be back shortly.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good afternoon. What is your name?
Devontae Franklin.
Now calling prosecutor order number 24-23212, the people versus Devontae Dimitri Franklin. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Magistrate, thank you. And for the record, Patrick Gagnick, I'm here on behalf of Mr. Franklin. Mr. Franklin, if you could state your name.
Devontae Franklin.
Thank you for that. No objection to us proceeding by video this afternoon. The record should reflect I did speak to Mr. Franklin in private this morning. Mr. Franklin, you would acknowledge that we had a chance to discuss this matter in private. Is that correct?
Yes, we spoke.
Okay. I went through a number of counts that have been charged against you. Is that correct?
Yes, I noticed that there were several added accounts.
With that said, though, there's 6 counts total. You acknowledge that?
Yes.
So, Magistrate, I would be content, again, I would acknowledge for the record that given the seriousness of the charge, that I did read the complaint to him verbatim. He did acknowledge he does understand both the charge as well as the maximum punishment. We also reviewed his constitutional rights. As it relates to all counts, I would motion this court to waive any further reading. I would make a request that a not guilty plea be entered on his behalf. Mr. Franklin is going to be requesting appointed counsel for any future court dates. Again, I would make that request on his behalf this afternoon.
All right. Thank you, counsel. The court will waive formal reading and enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of Mr. Franklin. Mr. Franklin, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted. A couple of these boxes were left blank, so I have a few questions. Are you currently employed?
Yes, I currently work at Innova Premier. I'm a line. I work on a line. I get paid $18.75. I was getting paid $18.75. Then now I end up start getting paid $25 an hour.
Okay. Are you
Yes.
Are you paid each week or bi-weekly?
Every week. Every week.
All right. So approximately how much do you usually make each week?
After taxes and child support is taken out, it's roughly a good check would be about like I had a good check even because I'm counting with overtime and everything, and so it was about like a good check for like 2,400 with
Okay.
even with the
Done.
yeah with taxes and everything and overtime and child support.
All right. Do you have any fixed expenses each month, like rent, car payment, mortgage, anything like that?
Yes, my rent right now is $1,250 at the village.
All right. Do you have any other fixed expenses?
Child care, I pay for child expenses, babysitting, and I also I pay back and forth to get to work, you know, with Uber and everything.
All right. So at the end of the month, after all your fixed expenses are paid, how much money would you say you have left?
Roughly at $1,250, like a good probably about like $900 roughly, but you know, yeah, about like $900.
All right. Then based on your representations, I do find that you qualify for court-appointed counsel, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward, okay?
Okay.
All right. Counsel, as it relates to bond, what would you like to state on behalf of Mr. Franklin?
was able to go over the bail recommendation with Mr. Franklin, respective of the fact that the county has issued a recommendation that bond be denied. I would ask the court to issue a cash amount. He is willing to submit to a tether. Looking at the report here that he does have ties to the city of Detroit. I believe family members were contacted on his behalf. They were able to confirm at least some of his information, but the fact that he is currently working. My request again would be the court to not deny bond, but to put a monetary amount on that. In lieu of that request, in consideration for that, he is willing to submit to a GPS tether.
Okay, thank you, counsel. Detective, can you place your appearance on the record, please?
Detective Michael Romelis, Oakland County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you, Detective. Is there anything you'd like to state regarding bond in this matter?
Yes, I once again will say I'm recommending that his bond be denied due to the severity of these charges. Being obviously large capital crimes, and see him as a danger to society moving forward. We're looking at charges that carry a penalty of life without parole. I would ask that he remains in the Oakland County Jail.
All right, thank you, Detective. I will note I did conduct the swear-to on this matter earlier this morning. I have read the pretrial services report that was submitted regarding Mr. Franklin. Quite frankly, the allegations that I heard in the swear-to were heinous, to say the least. I think that Mr. Franklin is a danger to the community as a whole. I also believe that he's a flight risk based on the fact that it appears that he tried to flee when he was apprehended.
I never did.
Hold on, Mr. Franklin, don't say anything. Everything we say is being recorded, and I don't want it to be used against you later. I will just note for the record, Mr. Franklin is charged with 2 counts of first-degree premeditated homicide. That is a capital offense. I don't think that there is any conditions that the court could put on Mr. Franklin to make him less of a danger to society based on the allegations that I heard. As such, the court's going to deny bond at this time. Mr. Franklin, you will remain in custody at the Oakland County Jail until your next hearing, which is currently scheduled for October 22nd at 1:30 p.m. And that'll be at the 50th District Court. Mr. Franklin, that is all for today. Wish you the best of luck.
Okay. Is it possible if I could speak to the detective, or the detective can reach out, come and visit me and talk to me?
Franklin, you're going to be appointed counsel. Somebody will be in touch within the week. Discuss that with your appointed counsel. That I don't see that speaking to the detective today is going to do any benefit. So
only reason because I was when he
spoke
to me,
Mr. Franklin statements. This hearing's done with. You're not talking directly to the detective about this.
Oh.
Take it up with your counsel. Thank you.
All right.
Nothing good comes of that, dude.
Thank you, everybody.
Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.